So today we will learn about the pedigree analysis. So this one is female, this one is male. This means mating, made between male and female. And if we write this one, two lines in between them. So this means mating between relatives, mating between relatives. Okay. Now mating between relatives. If this one is marked red, what does it means? Affected individual, affected female, and this one is affected male. Okay. Disease. Okay. So when we about to learn about the disease, how many there are two types of generally disease, two types of disease can be happened. One is because of autosome, that is called autosomal disease, that is called autosomal disease. Another one is sex chromosome. So autosome, you know 44 number of autosome are there, 44 number or 22 pairs, right? 22 pairs. And sex chromosome is 2 in number. So autosome, if we're talking about autosome that is 44 in number. So here two things can be happen, two cases. One is dominant, another one is recessive. So one is dominant, another one is recessive. Here 44 number of chromosome, that is autosome, where two cases can be happen. Dominant, which dominant? So dominant autosome can be AA or AA, capital AA or capital A small a, and recessive one is small a small a. Okay. So if dominant, if the disease will be dominant, then it generally it did not skip any generation, means every generation you can see the disease. In every generation you can notice the disease transmitted from one generation to another, so it does not skip any generation. Recessive one, so in case of recessive, it can be transmitted to the next generation, that is progeny में वो just transmitted हो भी सकता है, and it may not be transmitted to the next progeny. Okay, because it is recessive. Now sex chromosome, here this also can be happen. Generally sex chromosome, that is Y, X or Y. So X link chromosome and Y link chromosome. So X link chromosome, it having also two types, dominant, recessive. One is dominant, another one is recessive, and Y link, that is also same. But generally we already know Y link chromosome, that is present in the male, so it is male sex chromosome, and X link, that is female, that is present in both male and female. So now how we can understand what is dominant, autosomal dominant disease, or what is X link dominant disease or Y link dominant disease, that is sex dominant or recessive. If we're talking about the sex link dominant disease, then this is female, this is female, this is male, this is mating. In the next portion, if this one is affected, okay, it is sex link dominant. So here sex link is XC and XC, right? That is, this female is affected. Now what will it carry after to next generation? What will it carry? So it will carry, and this is one is XY. this is normal. So XCX, XCX, sorry, XCX, XCX, XCY, and XCY. So you can see this one and this one. These both are female. These both are female carrier. Why this is carrier? Because only one X chromosome carried this gene. Only one X chromosome carried this gene, and here there is two X chromosome, and here all female, all male are affected. So this is sex-linked dominant disease, okay, or X-linked dominant disease. That is because X gene, X chromosome cause this disease. X chromosome cross disease. So X-linked dominant disease. So how will you understand this one? Here you can clearly see this. So how will you understand? This one is, now we can conclude this one is dominant type of disease is this. Dominant, why we called it dominant? Because, so we can conclude this is a dominant types of disease. Why? Because this one is affected one, and through this 2 is affected, and this 1 2 is unaffected, and these 2 are affected. So now if we talking about this affected one, so here this affected one carried this gene, and in the next generation its offspring is also affected, right? So if this one is recessive, then it may not be carried the same gene in the next generation, it can skip. But here also we conclude from this one ki if this one is not affected and in the next generation this didn't carry the gene, that means it is dominant. Now, does it sex linked or X linked or autosomal types of disease? How we conclude it? So if it is X linked, now XC and XY, now it must carry it to the next generation, that is XC X, this is carrier, XCY, this is affected, XCY, this is also affected. So this one can't be possible. These things can't be possible. Why? Because all male, if the female, in dominant case, if female is affected, then all male should be affected. All male should be affected. That is XCY, affected. But here it is unaffected. So from this we can conclude this is autosomal dominant disease, right? So if this one is AA, and because in autosome dominant case, in case of dominant, the chromosome can be AA or capital AA, and in recessive small aa. Okay, these two things can be happened. So here AA, this one is not affected, small a. So focus আছে তো, this one is capital A small a, and this one is capital A small a, and others small a and small a. And this one is small a. So all these are carry small a. Okay, so now this is autosomal dominant disease. So this one is, now this one you can in the NCERT this also is available. So now see, The parents are not affected. These are not affected. But here, the offspring are affected. Some offspring, like this one and this one, these also affected. Okay. So now the parents are not affected. That's mean if the offspring are affected, that's mean they are carried. The parents must carry the recessive gene. Why we called it recessive genes? Because generally it does not dominate the another gene, so it is recessive. They are hide. They generally hidden. So that's why we called it recessive gene. So the parents must contain the recessive gene. That's why it is passed into the offspring, and these two are affected one. Now, in the next now in this case also the parents are not affected, but one of the offspring is affected. So this also skipped it. One generation is skipped it, and in the next generation the offspring is affected. So this, from this thing we can conclude it is recessive. It is recessive. And now whether it is X-link or autosome. So now if it is X-link, now it should be like that. Sorry, it should be like that. And in the next generation it should not carry the any gene, because here both of them are not affected, so the offspring should not be affected. But because of it is a autosomal disease, so it may carry this one. Okay. And that is affected in that is transmitted into the next generation. So from this thing we can conclude it. The conclusion is this is autosomal recessive. And what is the example of the disease? That is sickle cell anemia. That is the autosomal recessive disease. Okay. So if you like this video, then do subscribe, like, and share. Also, in my next video, I will upload the genetic chapter along with I will upload the whole genetic. In the next shorts, I will upload the chromosomal and Mendelian disorder. Okay. And do let me know if you have faced any problem, or if you have to say anything to improve myself. And do follow my Telegram channel, where you can got many updates like the DPP and PYQs and all. And where every Sunday I will occurred some quiz for all of you guys.